Hi, this is Ken Bood, and you're watching Big Stone Television. Remember that Ken Bood says so.
The autobiography of Paul Elliott, the chosen one. Paul Elliott was born and raised in the West Kingston district of Waterhouse, a ghetto area rich in musical tradition, but where everyday way of life is a constant struggle against poverty and the threat of violence. He and his family was spared neither. His mother was left to fend for a family of 10 children alone, and unsurprisingly, he grew up amid considerable hardship during these early years. You can still hear the sufferation and frustration in his voice today. It is a sound wrested from the intensity of experiencing life on the front line, but his songs are warmed by love and compassion, even whilst championing the poor and underprivileged against an increasing unjust system. Although Dennis Brown is the singer he's most compared to, Paul's favorite artist is Arth Bank, who himself lived in Waterhouse when younger. Other artists such as Johnny Clark, Johnny Osborne, and Dennis Brown would often stop and visited his elder brothers and the sweet melodies of Black Uhuru rehearsing right next door to the family home. As a result, Paul was raised in the roots of reggae tradition and took the name Culture Paul when recording. His debut Easter Sunday Morning single at the age of 9 for US producer Ja Life, followed by his second single Minivan Man, was released by Music House Production in the UK. With producer and sound system owner Prince, later King Jammy, based only a stone throw away and nearby St. Lucia Road, it was inevitable that the promising youngster should center his activities there. And whilst it's not unusual for Jamaican artists to record at such a tender age, once the initial excitement has faded, few receive much help or encouragement in furthering their careers. From here on, Culture Paul's apprenticeship began in earnest, as he was forced to compete with established names for the chance to shine. A task made especially difficult, as Jammy was soon to become Jamaica's leading producer, and could pick up the island's top acts whenever recording or taking his champion set on the road. Meanwhile, Paul and his family retained close ties with the local community and continued to welcome the likes of Admiral Bailey, Shabba Ranks, Shaka Demus, and Lieutenant Stitchie into their home before introducing them to the Jammy's camp. This pattern was to repeat itself over the next few years as Paul took a more crucial role in the studio's promotional activity. Although apart from tracks such as Brutalize the Sound Boy and the Ja Life Slim Belly Man LP, his own release remained few and far between. It was frustration at not getting adequate opportunities to record that eventually led him to cross over the gully into neighboring Marvelly and try his luck with Black Scorpio instead. There were, however, important differences this time around. By now, Paul was fully capable of producing his own work and made a deal whereby he could issue his records on Scorpion's label, even while financing and arranging the session himself. Yet just as the promise of a fresh start looked imminent, Tragedy struck his family twice in succession. First, 2 of his brothers were shot and killed, and then 2 years later, the same neighborhood gunman brutally murdered his mother. With the heart of his family ripped out and the unity that had bound together its members destroyed, music was his only release. It was at this point that he embarked upon a series of releases that would at last establish his reputation, and in his own words, make the killers feel the vibration of the music. A trio of songs on Black Scorpion label, Jaja Make Me Get Stronger, Vipers, and Fat Belly Rat resulted in 1996 to 1997. Vipers and Fat Belly Rat are amongst the most haunting and heartfelt modern-day reggae songs ever recorded. They in turn heralded a steady flow of outstanding roots and culture singles from other Jamaican studios, winning him instant recognition from the worldwide grassroots audience. Alongside several previous unreleased tracks, the best of these are now compiled on his excellent debut album, Save Me O Jah, produced by his own Stronger production label and distributed by Red Bridge in England. And whilst drawn from a variety of different producers, Paul's input into such works should not be underestimated. For as well as writing and performing his own material, he continues to arrange these sessions with a level of care and devotion to details that any great artist would readily understand. Former I3's member Judy Mowat, Marcia Griffiths, and the Tamlins often sing backing vocals on his track, while the Firehouse crew, famous for their works behind Luciana, but whom Paul has known since they were practicing on homemade instruments, give self-production such as Import Corruption and Cutting Clear, a live classic reggae sound that is wholly original. The latter is a defiant protest against the exploitation of young talent, and the perfect riposte to those who still hold 70s reggae in a higher regards than today's equivalent. Because this remarkable singer knows what he has to deliver, and is determined to break through such barriers whilst maintaining and even raising the standards set by his predecessors. As a result, his services are currently in demand around the Kingston studios, beginning with Little C. He has now begun producing other acts too. Apart from some powerful new hits for King Jammies, example Word, Sound and Power and Religion, his recent activities include recording production work with Anthony B, Dennis Starr, former Tetrack singer Carlton Hines, Leroy Smart, and Morgan Heritage, although he's continued to encourage newcomers into the business at every opportunity he gets. Seek Jah Blessing became one of the first releases on Colin McGregor's Jazz Scout label and was co-produced by the singer. Whilst We Need More Love reaps instant acclaim for Gordon Lee's New Flash record label, just as the magnificent singer Look Over Me O Jah did for Dylan Reed's Manatee. Among the previously unheard material, Reggae Gets Stronger for Red Bridge is especially notable with that familiar spirit of resistance for once yielding to a burning surge of optimism. In 2001, Paul Elliott followed up with his second album, The Meaning of Life, on his own Stronger production label, distributed by Taboo One in France. That album has earned the artist an extensive amount of tour worldwide, with songs like Psychological Warfare, Leader's Mistake, just to name a few. His third album, Coming Home, in 2002, was also produced on his own Stronger production label and was released in USA, distributed by Artist Only Record Company. Self-Reliance, his fourth album, was released by Stronger Production in 2004 and is being distributed by Zodiac worldwide. His current album, released in March of 2015, is currently creating waves worldwide with songs like Reggae Music Turn Up, Real Thing, Family Man, Get Jah Involved, and In the Valley of Decision, all produced and arranged by Stronger Productions, owned by Paul Elliott. This album has 4 music videos. As it happens, this is entirely well placed. He has recorded on almost every label in Jamaica and then some. Paul Elliott has survived and triumphed over all unimaginable tribulation to reach where he is today. Like a phoenix from the flames, his career has risen against all odds. He is a Rastaman inspired by truth and righteousness, and who sings from deep within his heart to a universal audience, whatever the subject is at hand. He is also aware that in order to uplift others, any cultural messenger of repute has to live according to what they preach, for none of them are blaspheme. In this respect, he can truly claim that I and I are the new Bible. I and I is the new Moses and the Solomon. I and I are the new Psalms, in reference to the work performed by himself and other new root singers from Jamaica. Paul Elliott, unshakable faith in Jah, really did save him, and for this we can all be grateful. He is now known world over as Paul the Chosen One Elliott, as read by Claude Big Stone Sinclair.